Okay, so we're looking at details, which is really what we've been looking at the entire time. So I wanted to point out some of the things of the thinking steps that essentially you isolate something that you're looking for, and you have to think about the implications, what's revealed about it. So let's start with this word scowling, and I've circled it right here. So what does scowling indicate? What does it mean? It means a sense of unhappiness, discontent. So I'll go ahead and write that down. And um, this is telling of Catherine, and so that's what we need to think about. What does this reveal about her nature? She's scowling and turning her face to the fire. And I think this is another interesting detail because it reveals her, sorry, and I'm left-handed, a desire to avoid conflict. Because what you get is that Nellie is kind of making fun of her. She is, but instead of responding back, she tries to avoid it, which is indicated in even the fact that she's saying that she's going to avoid, which we discover later on in the passage, avoid the conflict of marrying the person she loves because it would make her poor and unhappy, and that becomes another struggle. So we'll also look at the details that she points out: handsome, young, cheerful, rich. Those are all characteristics of this positive, idealistic love, um, and that Nellie's understanding of Catherine's character, because these details show Catherine's superficial love, and then the counter of that would be, well, what is really love? And we get that on the other half. So it's kind of a halfway analysis of her character. I'm going to flip it over to the back side of this. So we're looking at no, to be sure not. I should only pity him and hate him, perhaps. So the pity and hate are also interesting details in that they counter this idealistic love. Um, so we see Catherine attempt at power. For her, it can't be. She sees the weakness of it, um, of Edgar's character, which counters her own, and that gives her power. Um, I'm going to skip this part. This is part of the conversation. We get the details of it, but within there, we get the several other handsome, richer, hinder you from loving them. This is a nice, I guess, just simply realistic nature because both Catherine and Nellie are realistic. Nellie says other people are better looking and have more money. Catherine's counter is, I don't know them, so um, what does it matter to me? Both this detail, this counter, this back and forth in the conversation, these details sort of highlight their back and forth nature, but really the back and forth nature of love. Is it better to be realistic, or should the characters embrace what true love is and deal with that? Um, and then this is a kind of a culminating idea to look at. He is now, and I have only to do with the present. I would wish you would speak rationally. So again, Catherine's dialogue highlights her desire for just living in the moment and not considering the repercussions of the past or the present, I'm sorry, or the future, and just sticking with the present tense. And that's interesting because we go back to this concept of love. She doesn't care about love in the future or what it will be like. She instead wants to focus on the present, which she directly settles it. Um, and then this culminating paragraph, uh, right here with the smooth and easy, where's the obstacle? Um, which counters in what we already discussed with the pacing of the passage as she discusses her conflict, sorry, with marrying Edgar. So The idea of marriage is going back to the details. You are really just capturing words and phrases, any kind of imagery, anything that highlights it. So we focused on dialogue, looking at the conversations and the back and forth nature of it. We also highlighted counter words, pity and hate versus all this handsome, young, cheerful, rich. Um, we have scowling, which goes on the pity or the negative side, turning your face to the fire, the avoidance of it. So the thing to consider is that you're really looking for what draws your attention, what captures um, you in your noticings as you are reading. That's basically what you have to do as you are um, noticing in the passage when you're looking at details. It's not like, oh, what is, don't try to say the author uses details, but again, let me reiterate that you are looking at what's there and how does it help us understand the character. Okay, you'll have one more video to watch, and we'll talk really about the entire passage. Okay,